WMMS.com if you want to watch. Thank you to Hamilton Duraganaw, the Archduke of Bluffington, for helping out today. Finally get some royalty up in this.
Oh, he's not royalty.
This piece. I'm sorry?
He's not royalty. That's his full name.
His full name is Hamilton Duraganaw, the Archduke of Bluffington?
Yeah, he's from Jersey.
Wow. Bluffington, New Jersey?
No.
Bluffington's part of his
That's the full name.
That's his full name, yeah.
What's the first name and what's the surname?
His first name is Hamilton.
Oh.
And then
Last name is Duraganaw, the Archduke of Bluffington.
that is actually his middle name.
Oh.
Mary gets it.
She does get it. All right. Well, anyway, listen, thanks.
Duraganaw is actually Duraganaw, yeah.
Duraganaw, though.
Duraganaw. Thank you for the help. If you listen to the show on iHeartRadio from anywhere throughout North America, outside of Ohio, tell me where. Ryan's a new bureau chief in Seattle.
Washington?
Yes, Washington. Wow. Yep. Wonder if there's another there's got to be another Seattle somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's like Manhattan, Kansas.
Yeah.
Anywho, Zach listens in Asheville, North Carolina. Erica listens in Florence, South Carolina. Mark is in Greenville, Indiana. Geronimo is a bureau chief in Richmond, Kentucky. And Andy listens in Atlanta. We have a lot of bureau chiefs, by the way, in Portland, Oregon, Mary. Portland. See, there's one. Portland, Oregon. We've got, who do we have there? We've got a bunch of people.
Tom?
Out there. Huh?
Tom.
We've got some Toms there.
Alex,
yeah.
maybe.
I wish I could have met up with someone I was out there.
Why didn't you?
No one hit me up.
Oh.
The last time when I was in South Carolina, they hit me up on Instagram.
He's
and
not going to reach out to anybody.
I don't know who to reach out to. Who am I going to reach out
Put
to?
it on your Instagram. Hey, Portland Bureau Chiefs, let's get together
let's
for a beer.
Let's do a meetup. Yeah.
I told everybody on this show that I was going to Portland, and I was taking videos of me in Portland, and no one said anything.
Hey, I want to give you credit for actually promoting your podcast on your Instagram this week.
I thought that was hilarious.
What did he do?
Stupid little motorcycle.
Some motorcycle was driving by, and he's just like, I don't know how little your penis is if you have to drive a motorcycle like that.
I'm literally in my house.
Yeah.
Literally all the way in my house, and I'm sitting in the kitchen, and I can hear it from the road. Windows closed.
Why is that his fault?
Because his penis is too small.
It's just loud. Like, there's no reason for you to be that loud.
So are you.
I'm not loud like that all the time. That's why I go to my room. I shut the blinds. I close my door. I don't bother anybody.
He shuts the blinds to be quieter.
I see.
It's just me and my headphones and
You've never heard it. Wait. Was this while you were recording the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh.
So you
and
could
it's
hear
part of the podcast, and he made a promo out of it. So.
I just think it's funny. I think you can. I don't know if I.
Why is that a problem? But you eating and drinking on your podcast is not a problem. You wanted the raw authenticality, according to you, of why?
That's why I made it the promo, because it is authentic. If you want authentic, you get it in that, and I thought it was hilarious.
Well, the latest Poundcake podcast, ambience and all, is called "The Slap Heard Around the World."
Slap, slap, slapping sounds.
I assume you mean
the Chris Rock.
Not the famous scene from "I Love You, Man," where Paul Rudd is getting Rashida Jones hip to Rush.
Chris Rock and Will Smith. Yeah.
Slapping the bass.
Slapping the
bass, man.
I love how, and I love how everything immediately turns to the woman. Like, Will Smith can't be responsible for his actions. Even you, Mary. I think even you blame Jada. I said, obviously everyone is responsible for their own actions. I said, Jada turned his night into her. But you think
made
she's
it about her,
like the puppet strings or something like that?
It clearly worked, didn't it? She shot him a look, and he went from laughing his ass off to punching Chris Rock.
But there's a reason.
So you know what kind of man you got.
But they are the same person, though. There's a reason why you can't testify against your spouse in court. Like, you are essentially
responsible. That's got nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Whatever.
You know what kind of man you got. You know, if you shoot him a look, you know.
Some men only need permission.
Now, I don't think even she knew he was going to get up and hit Chris Rock. But who knows what she thought. It was enough where when he looked over at her and she was sitting there with a bag on her head, that she could have laughed along with it too. She was doing one of her own shows a couple of days ago and was like, I don't care what anybody thinks. Bald is beautiful, and if people want to joke about it. So what changed in 48 hours Did they have an argument in the limo on the way over? Like,
Probably.
obviously, there's a million variables that none of us will be privy to. But it's just, anyway, you'll hear all about whatever is going on there in the latest episode of the Poundcake podcast. What episode is this? Are you at 100?
He's on the phone.
Where is it? I'll look it up real quick.
Are they numbered? Episode 71
There you go.
is what it says. There you go. And so you will hear it in all of its raucous glory at alancoxshow.com. Portland, Oregon. We have one of our old bosses is there now, Keith Abrams. They called him Sass Keith. He was here for a long time.
Back to the Redwoods.
Yeah, he's... So if you're out there, keep your cameras handy. Mm-hmm. No, he is... he was one of the people who hired me here at MMS. And then he left maybe a year or so ago. And he's running some stations out in Portland, Oregon now. His kids are all grown, so it's him and his wife. And he worked at, you bounce around a lot in radio, and he worked in Seattle many years ago. So he's familiar with the Pacific Northwest, but he's back there in Portland. And I was reading, this is one of the most Portland stories I've ever read, by the way, is a guy who is well known throughout the region, throughout Portland, a guy who goes by the Unipiper. Yes. And he won't let you forget it, because it's plastered all over his Jetta wagon. He's got unipiper.com, his vanity plate, his UNIPPR. He's got stickers. Somebody smashed, this is a guy, if you're wondering what Unipiper is, it's a guy who plays the bagpipes on a unicycle. Ah. And he was posting photos of how somebody smashed the back window of his Jetta wagon, or Golf wagon, or whatever this V-dub is, and stole his unicycle. That is a Portland crime. Because a person steals a unicycle because they know they can fence it. They know what that's going to go for on the open Portland market.
Yeah, you can put it on Facebook Marketplace, and there's plenty of them on there. But
You can walk into a pawn shop, and there's probably 6 unicycles hanging on the wall.
There's people cutting bikes in half just to be like, I can sell unicycles better than I can sell bikes.
That's right.
It hurt my heart a little bit when this happened, and I debated whether or not to even share the story. It is because I love Portland that I think that in order for us to fix the problems, first we have to acknowledge them. I'm not giving up on Portland, and I want it to get better. So, if this can raise awareness and, maybe put a little fire under some people who have more power than I do, then I'm glad to help.
Guy's name is Brian Kidd, and he goes by the Unipiper. He's kind of a local, colorful character, and loves Portland, isn't going to make this turn away from his hometown. But boy, what a Portland story. That your unicycle was stolen from the back of your car. And as if rolling around on a unicycle wasn't bad enough, you're playing the bagpipes on a unicycle. That's heavy duty. That is asking a lot of your audience. You're rolling around.
He's on a unicycle. Like, how could I be more obnoxious?
How?
What can I really take this to the next level?
This is Portland, so they're going to give you a lot of latitude. A lot of latitude.
Bagpipes.
Yeah, bagpipes. So we asked people to keep an eye out for a black unicycle with twinkly lights on the inside of the wheel. And but again, he's a locally well-known guy, and he's all bummed out, and he would like to have his, no word here in this story as to whether or not his bicycle has a name.
Of course it does.
But he said, if I find out that somebody's out there just riding around on it playing the accordion, that would just make my day, and they could gladly have it. Still got to fix your car, though.
Do they know what brand it is?
I didn't see that. Mm-hmm. What's a brand of unicycle?
Like a Schwi or a Huff?
This is an FFY, I believe. I think that's the brand he's got. Okay. It's an Annandale, I think, is the... No, but he's, Also, I don't know how wise it is to... I'm sure he didn't ever think anybody would steal it from his car. But when you've plastered your car with stickers saying that you're the Unipiper, that might end up working against you. Inside, yeah. Some goods inside. Or at least a unicycle. Hey, Eric.
Hey, Alan.
What's going on?
Hey, so Mary mentioned that she knew somebody that had kids that are 11 months apart. My 2 boys are 10 months apart. We had our first kid, and my wife asked her OB for birth control. He said, "Oh, no, it's fine. As long as you're breastfeeding, you can't get pregnant." 10 months later, Dylan came. So
I've never heard a doctor say if you're breastfeeding, you can't get pregnant.
That's as far as I know, true.
I've never heard that.
Or like your body is releasing the hormones.
He told us that it constricts the uterus and she can't get pregnant.
Huh. Well, I guess your wife proved him wrong.
Are you at a merry-go-round?
It sounds like you're at a carnival now with your... Are you in a maternity ward now, Eric?
I work in a factory.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually at the...
Do you manufacture carousels by any chance?
I manufacture cabinets.
Cabinets.
I don't know if I can say where I work.
It's the musical cabinet company. Okay, are these the only 2 kids you have, or are you going to have more?
Oh, I have a daughter.
You have a daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you, Eric. Mazel tov out there with those kids. Alan, my husband, and I have 8 kids between the ages of 2 and 11. Our house is an adventure every day, but I wouldn't ever change it. Well, good for you. Listen, better you than me, all right?
Yeah, sure.
Better you than
Some
me.
people love being parents.
That's
all that they've ever wanted, and they get all of their life's joy.
And I wish
from
everyone was
raising
like
children.
that. There's nothing wrong with that. Good for them. I got no judgment on you. If that's what you want to do, it's the people who have a bunch of kids but couldn't seem to care
hate
less
'em.
about them. I'm like, what was the point here, by the way?
Right.
Condoms are not expensive.
8 kids?
Yeah.
11 and 2? Is that the...
Between 11 and...
My husband and I have 8 children between the ages of 2 and 11. Wow.
8 kids in 9 years.
That's like you're just professionally pregnant.
Well,
You're pregnant all the time.
My ex, his cousin was like that. She had 4... I think she has 4 kids now. I still follow her on Instagram. She has like 4 or 5 kids, and the oldest is like 6 or 7.
Because
she's just like, get it done. Then I'm always in mom mode. I'm always ready for an infant. And then once this one's 10, I'll stop or whatever.
I guess my thought is always, clearly you have a different idea than most people of how many children is enough. So we'll start there. We'll start with you saying 3 is not that many. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to have that many kids in that short period of time, what is your line for cutting it off? When is enough for you?
I don't know. There's some people that have those 19 kids or whatever.
I know. Well, that's a whole crazy religious thing, though, too.
I mean,
they're literally trying to repopulate the planet.
Coming from a big family and having so many siblings, I do think it can be more fun and build more character if you have a larger family. I am not, like, single children, I think, are much harder to manage. I feel like it's harder to raise 1 kid than to raise 3 kids. Because... I don't know how to describe this. Like,
I think
feel
it depends on the
certain,
temperament of the kids.
There's a certain amount of things you learn from having siblings. Like, I think having siblings prepares you better for things like school and being in the real world, being bullied, stuff like that. Like, real life skills can come from having siblings before they would come for an only child.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, my daughter has 2 or 3 of her friends are only children. So even though none of them have siblings... Like they're all kind of in that together, you know what I mean?
But they're not though, because when you have a sibling, you're with them all the time, all day, every day. You learn how to play, you learn how to share, you learn how to fight. You learn those things from having siblings. Whereas an only child, I feel like may not. And you said you're right. It depends on the temperament of the kid. May not develop social skills as quickly.
Well, I think if you have an only kid, you have to specifically teach them those things.
Right.
If you have siblings, you just go in there, play, figure it out. That's right.
Yeah.
Right. If you're doing your job, you gotta, because I've known some only kids that were just nightmares, and I've known other ones that were awesome.
Normal.
Yeah. So I think it's temperament. I think it's like however you're taught, and it's
it.
So
how present your parents are. I mean, I'm also a family of 5 kids, and I mean we're pretty well adjusted, I think. But
yeah.
It's also. I wouldn't say it was. I mean, we were also in the country, so we had nobody else to even be around.
Yeah.
So we were like forced to interact with each other, and that's why I was like, I'm sick of these guys. I'm just gonna go be by myself.
Well, yeah. I mean, it shapes you as a person for sure. But like, there's 12 nieces and nephews between my siblings, and my boyfriend's daughter is an only child. Mm-hmm. So when we get all the cousins together, it is a weird dynamic sometimes because she doesn't have any siblings. Well, she does now, but is a baby. But there'd be times where everybody would be playing and she'd kind of be by herself. And I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, I want to play by myself. I'm like, I never even thought to play by myself because I had so many kids around all the time, you know?
Yeah.
So
I'm going to play by myself.
hey, you
That
do
is
you, girl.
so me as a kid.
I'm going to be over here if you guys want to hang out.
Well, that's what we tell our daughter. We're like, you will have to learn to play by yourself.
Yeah.
Because like Gwen's around her, you know, she's in school now, but like in the summertime, they're together all the time.
Yeah.
Right? You got to have some grown-up time. So it's like you are going to have to figure out how to play by yourself.
Was she a crier when she started school?
Gwen? Yeah.
No, I'm talking about like kids. For some kids, the first day of school is very traumatizing. Like,
No, she couldn't wait to go to school.
really?
Yeah, she
Brian's
loved it.
daughter was the same way.
That was-
Very social, really wanted to go make friends and
Yeah,
play.
and I was happy too because I felt bad. There were these kids where like the parents are out there in front, like pleading with these kids to go inside.
Feeling
Is it
them
true,
off
though?
And you
alone.
feel
Yeah.
bad because there's some kids they're not.
It's very scary,
and this
though,
was all
yeah.
pre-pandemic. They weren't prepped for it, but
But I think that, I mean, and again, each kid's different, but I think that's something that siblings help too. Because when you see your older siblings going to school, it kind of prepares you like,
My
okay,
brother cried
this is
too.
something that happens though. But like watching your older siblings go to school, you're like, okay, one day I get to go to school. I get to ride the bus, you know?
My family were all criers. My cousin was a crier. My brother was a crier. So I continued on the tradition. I didn't want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to go. I want to stay here with you, Mom. She's like,
you didn't want to like make new friends.
get your ass on that bus.
She's like, I need to sleep.
She used to love it. That was the only. She got 6 full hours of complete silence.
Oh yeah, your mom couldn't wait to get you in school.
But then my brother was truant, so he would never go. So my mom would think that she was home alone, and then my brother just come
She
like,
hears a floorboard creak.
really? She's like, God damn it! Who is here? And of course, my brother come walking up with a T-shirt that's too small for him. Speaking from experience, and yeah, she would be pissed.
What are you giggling about over there?
Just the idea that his brother's in a shirt that's too small.
It is. You would see, like my shirt doesn't
Fat guy
show.
in a little coat.
Yeah, my shirt doesn't come up like you can't see my belly button. You can see it
See your
underneath.
nipples.
You can see my nipples. But I'm talking about. I'm saying my shirt doesn't stop before my belly button.
Yeah.
My brother would
He
come up
could
there.
put on a puffer jacket and we'd still see his nipples.
He would walk up. That's my brother's loungewear. He loves wearing stuff around the house that's just too small for him. He would never wear
Like belly,
that.
like he wears crop tops?
It's not. It's a regular top for us. It's a crop top for him, and he's just
Isn't
like,
that uncomfortable?
it's comfortable to him if he has his stomach
Really?
hanging out. I don't know.
You
I don't.
walk around feeling like you were a sausage or something.
Like exposed.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
This is the
Why?
same family that has holes in their underwear. Like
Oh, God.
they're the most comfortable. You get a breeze.
My boyfriend had
Why do
underwear
you
like that.
want a breeze in your underwear?
I think they're just old, so they're like worn, so they're comfortable. Like the material
They're
is
doing
worn, so it's
amazing
softer.
things with boxers these days. Out the box, they are crazy comfortable.
My boyfriend had these old man, I called them his old man panties. He hated it whenever he'd show up. He had these one pair of boxers that he would wear on like laundry day. And I was like, you need to throw
Oh,
those
no.
away. And then
Nope.
like, I just bought him more underwear. I was
Nope.
like, listen, we're going to do this together. We're going to take your old man panties. We're going to throw them in the trash.
Old man
I
panties?
bought you brand new underwear.
What's
If
wrong
I
with
have a
them?
loose thread around the
Well,
waistband,
it
they
was
go in the
like-
garbage.
Like the waistband was all saggy and
No.
like a little hole in them. And I was like, I hate those underwear so much. What's wrong with them? I only wear them on laundry day. I'm like, I hate this so
See,
much.
men are men. Like
They
you
don't care.
You know, I hate to break it to you, Poundcake. I am a man.
You don't have holes in your underwear. You don't.
That's
eat in
right.
bed,
And I am
like, you're
still
just
a man.
perfect.
That's
I also
right.
don't have holes in my underwear because once they get holes, you throw them out.
I
Yeah.
do
No,
have.
they're comfortable.
Same with socks.
Like Alan said, there's good underwear now that's comfortable out of the box.
And they're not any more comfortable because
are.
they have a hole in them.
I
Not
think
the
they're more
hole,
They're
but I
just-
think the material is more worn in, so it can make them more
There's no
comfortable.
more
But why
stress
do you-
points.
But, right.
Worn
but
in
you're-
underwear.
But you're acting like brand new boxers feel like a paper grocery bag.
They have stress points.
They don't. They're brand new and they feel awesome. What needs to be worn in?
Maybe
I don't
you need to
understand.
get a new brand.
Like if you were talking about jeans or something, you're like, yeah, you got to wear them in a little
Yeah.
bit, wash them a couple times.
Shoes,
Yeah,
yeah.
you got to wear them in. Underwear, they come immediately comfortable these days.
Women's underwear are amazing.
That's why there's a billion companies who think that they've got a new take on men's underwear. They don't, but God bless them for trying.
It's got the ballroom now.
yeah, there's like ball cup underwear. I've
Yes.
seen those. Does that matter? Like, well, how often are your balls sticking to your leg that's an issue?
You're asking the wrong guy. Mine do not.
Well, isn't that? I thought boxer briefs did that. Kept
that's the
everything
thing.
where it's supposed to go.
Kept even, where they're
exactly,
supposed to be. Yeah.
The cup ball thing, that is a thing because there are people that like
Would it feel like wearing a cup?
have their sack stuck to their leg or something.
If you got
It does.
If you got long balls.
Some people do have long balls. What do you mean?
If you're sitting there and they're submerged in the water, that's a whole other thing.
You sound judgy.
Is Poundcake's brother Winnie the Pooh?
Sometimes
Donald
when he stays home, he is.
Yep.
My brother was a truant kid. I don't understand how he passed school because he never went to school. Every year he had the maximum amount of days missed before you go get locked up.
You have to get summer school. I was like that a lot.
I just don't understand how you're like. I would just go to school. It's one thing to go to school and not do anything, like be the class clown. A lot of kids did that, but he was just like, "No, I'm not going."
After my parents got divorced, I skipped school a lot. I think my.
But did you
senior
leave the
year,
house?
I would leave my dad's house and go to my mom's house. I would wait for my dad to go to sleep. So here's what I would do. We had captain's beds, so they had the drawers in the bed, right? But there was also storage. So if you opened the storage thing, there was like a small, maybe 2-foot space that we used as storage that was between the captain's bed, like the bed and the drawers. So I would go in there and pull a box in front of myself.
That's a lot of work.
So he couldn't find me. The bed looked like I went to school. So I would do that. My dad would get home from work. He'd go to sleep at like 10. And then after he went to sleep, I would climb out my window and walk to my mom's house. I wouldn't go to school.
Well, what would your mom say?
It's already noon. What am I going to go to school for the last hour and a half of the day? Or 2 hours of the day?
It took 2 hours to get from your dad's house to your mom's?
No,
You
but
said you left at 10, you get there at noon?
I'd wait for him to like make sure he was asleep and I'd like hang out, and I had this big walk-in closet, so I'd leave from like underneath the bed to my walk-in closet, and
Right.
I'd probably leave around 10:30 or 11. And they lived, it probably took at least a half hour, 45 minutes to walk there.
Why not just go to school?
That's what I'm talking about.
Because I want to.
It's a lot of work.
I was
thought you
good at
liked
school.
school,
I
yeah.
I'd
loved
rather
school.
walk for 45 minutes than go to school.
Yeah.
I mean, I would, yeah, absolutely. But I would just say, Mom, I'm not going to school today.
But there were
She'd be like,
sometimes-
I can't do anything about you.
As a child of divorce, I learned, well, they're either not going to communicate or they both feel bad enough. My dad would make me go to school, but my mom would
Well, you
feel
were playing
guilty
both sides
and,
against the
yes.
middle. Oh, I see.
My mom would feel
You were
guilty.
taking your quiet revenge against you.
I didn't ask you to get divorced.
Right.
Like this is.
But you know,
hurting me.
Mary,
just so
ultimately, the
sad.
only person you were hurting
It was my mom.
was yourself. Oh, I've got to take a break. I'll have those Kid Rock tickets for you. He's doing a show with Foreigner out at Blossom.